how do we save lives?
Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. And if you're someone that's never been on my channel, welcome to my channel. I'm really excited to do today's video. I think it's very necessary, judging by the title. As you guys see, I think it's something that is extremely relevant to what's happening right now, because I feel like every single day things just kind of get like worse. Like, I'm kind of shook. The other day I honestly had a very emotional moment. Like, I cried because, in all honesty, like, the thought of having to deal with the possibility of not even having the option to see my family and kind of, you know, just be around them during this time scares me. I mean, I'm originally from New York, if you didn't know, but I live in Los Angeles right now, so it's just such an interesting time. So I'm actually gonna Skype call my friend Francesca. She's actually one of my followers from Instagram, and just kind of the backstory of this whole thing. Last week, from the time that I filmed this, I was actually on Instagram story, and I was like, I don't know about this. I think it's being blown out of proportion. Like, I just don't know. And she actually messaged me through Instagram and said, hey, listen, like, I felt exactly how you felt 2 weeks ago. You should probably take this a little more seriously. And I want to reinstate, she actually lives in Italy, and the quarantine, I guess, rules and regulations there are like extremely strict. Like, as of now, they have the military enforcing it. So I thought, since America is pretty much 2 weeks behind, I wanted to see if she could give us advice on how to deal with this, because this has been their reality for the past 2 weeks. So I'm actually really nervous right now, but I'm gonna Skype call her. I'm nervous. So just so you guys know, if you don't know, this is my computer over here. So I'm just gonna call her through here, and I'm literally dying right now. I'm so nervous.
Okay.
Hi.
Hi, how are you? Hi.
Thank you so much for doing this. I think it's so important, and I'm like so curious to see your perspective on all of this, because what I wanted to tell people is literally me last week. Remember, I was like, oh, I don't know if this is a big deal. Like,
Yeah, I know. And I decided to, like, respond to your stories. I felt the liberty to do so, as I said, because I'm from Italy, and we had the same train of thought. We thought the same things. We didn't think it wasn't such a big deal, and then all of a sudden, hello, hi, Mars. I mean, and so since you do have a pretty big platform, I thought that maybe it was not the kind of message that, like,
the appropriate
the best
message.
messages to share, but not because I was hating on you,
No,
absolutely,
yeah.
because I think that we should be educated and like, listen to the perspectives, and I really appreciated that actually listened and you note of what I said, because it was not coming from a place of hatred or anything like that.
Yeah.
Almost quite the opposite. So
Oh yeah.
that,
Of course. I didn't even take it like that. You said it so like it was well written, and it was how it should be, because I feel like people online just go crazy.
yeah.
But I think, in all honesty, as you know, in 1 week things have changed so dramatically here. And
Yeah,
you're
things
probably like,
escalated,
it's so
like,
crazy to see it happen like somewhere else. But the crazy part, and I think I'm where you're at last week, because now, like, I'll look out the window and people are just like jogging, like people are just kind of like living their lives, doing whatever. And as you know, in California, it's like law now, like, stay indoors unless you need
yes, you need to get groceries, you have a medical condition, and you need
Exactly.
to get out, and that's about it. I mean, this is how it is right now. And actually, yesterday they said even more things.
The military is enforcing, like,
Yes,
the
yes.
quarantine, right?
Yeah, because we have been in quarantine for almost 2 weeks. Like, not quarantine. Quarantine it has been for a month, because everything has started on the 22nd, 23rd of February. So now it's almost a month. But we have had the order to, like, lock down everything from the 8th of March. And so it's almost 2 weeks. And yesterday they said that we can't even go to parks anymore. I mean, they said it before, but now it's the law. Like,
It's
they
like
close the park, you
like
cannot go
period.
jogging. They things get worse, but of course you have to consider that it has to get worse before it gets better, because now it's already too late. I'm sorry to break it to everyone, but it is, because we didn't think it would happen to us, and we have been in quarantine for a month, and it's going to be another month, because for now the deadline is the 25th of April, but they're gonna change it. I mean, the deadline until a few days ago was the 3rd of April, and then they said, you know what, never mind. And we don't know what is gonna happen, but most likely the 20th of April, they're gonna say, you know what, never mind, 25th of May, and so on. So if people don't take it seriously, it's gonna be like forever and ever and ever and ever. And I think that nobody on earth, because it's pandemic, nobody wants that.
I have a question though, like how has this affected in your personal experience, like your mental health? Like what is going on? Like how do you feel like pretty much being like imprisoned
Yeah.
in your home for so long? Like, how does it make you feel? How does it affect you? Because it's obvious that we're going down the same path. And I really want people, I think the importance of this video is you're experiencing it. So like I want to know like how this may affect
How
me.
it feels.
It may affect people. Like how is this affecting you and maybe your friends? Like what are they thinking?
Yeah, I don't know if you know anything about maybe the geography of Italy, but I do live in the south. But on September, I moved out, like almost what you did. I mean, you lived in New York and now you live in LA to work. And so I did the same thing, because I wanted to go to the university, and I went to Milan to study in the north. So it's pretty far. And I finally started my life there, that I was waiting for. Yeah, I have been waiting to go there for years and years and years. And finally you go there, you stay there like for 3-4 months, and then they say, oh, just kidding, you have to go back. Never mind. And so it has been like a toll of my mental health, because I really wanted to stay there, not because I have problems at all at home at all, but I think that you get me, that if you have a dream you want to pursue, it's not about the family will always be there, but if it's not right in your hometown, it's not right. And so just the fact that I had to no, don't no, don't cry. No, and so it was kind of rough, but I do have to say, and also seeing my friends, that I am not able to see my friends that are up there and also up there, which is, the situation is really rough in the north of Italy, where I run away from. But I did run away before everything went on, because I already know that many people might say, you know what, you shouldn't have moved. Yeah, but I did move like when we had like 3 cases, and I shouldn't have, but I would have been alone in that situation, and I thought that they might close the whole region with me inside alone. And so they said, we're not having it, you're coming here, you are going to self quarantine for 14 days, which I did. And then after my 14 days of self quarantine, the lockdown like started. So enjoy. I didn't really look into the numbers and things, also because I am no expert, frankly. I'm just someone who has been on lockdown for 2 weeks. That's as far as my expertise goes. So
It's not a video to tell people what to do. It's just kind of like
no, it's from a place of love and a place of like, because as I think you noticed, I do not want to school anybody on what to do and what not to do, but besides coming from a place of love, is coming from, we do want to get out of this, like everyone does. So I think that following the instructions and be responsible, and not think it will never happen to me, because I hope that it won't, but it might. And
it's looking like it will. That's one of the questions that I wanted to ask you, because right now there's kind of like an in between. So it's like you can't go out, but you could go to the park and just keep distance, or you can't do this, but, and it's like, do you think like the best thing is just to stay indoors?
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
like as much as possible, because I'm kind of at the point where I'm like, I think living in America, we live in a bubble. And I think we're known for this, where we don't
Yeah.
really know what's going on in the rest of the world. We're just kind of focused on what's going on in America.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God, like we literally have like a template of how this has happened in other countries. And
Yeah.
I'm literally seeing it happen here, and everyone's kind of like, la, 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 la. Like,
It's
you know,
whatever. Yeah, they're not getting it, but I'm not really blaming them because we didn't get it either. And we still to this day with all of these limitations. I mean, you now have to, I don't know if it's like this in America, but now you have to, like, every time you go out, the police or whatever is going to stop you, even if you're by foot and you're going to the grocery store, and they're gonna ask you, where are you going? I am gonna check. I'm gonna need a certificate that you will write yourself, and they're gonna check, because many people are maybe saying, I'm going to visit my grandmother who is really sick, and then they check, and the name they write on the paper is like for a 40-year-old woman, which is totally fine, and then you get fined. It is not worth it. I mean, it's better to do 1 month, 2 months, I don't know how long, but it's better to do the least, but do it good. Maybe a suggestion: if you have to go to the grocery store, and please, like, we have to spread this message that they are never ever ever going to close the grocery stores, and you are never going to starve, never, because they did close like everything, literally, but those will forever be open because they will not let you starve to death. But a suggestion may be, whenever you have to go to the grocery store, to avoid going like every single day. Of course, you're shopping for a few days, like for 5 days I'm gonna shop for 5 days, but shopping for 5 days does not mean to hoarder things. I mean, you have to do your shopping for a certain amount of days so that you don't go out as much, but for you, for everyone. It has been kind of hard because, also for us here, that we cannot go out and we cannot, even if you don't party, it's hard. But
of course, because you don't have the option. It's like you're literally a prisoner almost. Like you don't have the
yeah,
option to go out. And I think that
yeah,
us, like, it's kind of panic. So you're like, oh my God, like what? Like what can I do? I think you get cabin fever. Even for me, like
yeah,
I try to keep myself busy. But I think the thought of the fact that this is most likely not even the worst of it kind of messes with my brain, because I'm like, oh my
yeah.
God, like it's gonna take for like, I think for the authorities to be like, hey, where are you going? Why are you
Yeah,
outside? You know what
but
I mean?
they will do it. And also, you have to go grocery store shopping. Okay, you cannot go with somebody. You have to go alone. Whatever you go, you have to go alone because nobody has to leave. So even if you do have an emergency, one person has to go, and that's it. Because you don't have to go out. So even if we go grocery shopping, one person goes, and then yes, rest is like has to stay home. But also, I mean, as we were talking about before, people should not be jogging, should not be exercising, should not be sh- not caring,
Do it
because
indoors.
yeah, because let me tell you, they will do it to you. I mean, you don't listen, because now you are privileged.
You're
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Okay, privilege, because you could do it, but you are probably not doing it responsibly, so it's going to be taken away from you.
It's so funny
So
saying that, because I was telling my friend, I was like, it's like this American privilege of like, we'll be fine. Like it
yeah,
is what it is.
people are not able to, like, many act selfishness. We do need rules, because people are never going to do what is right unless we do have rules. I mean, it's like we're all kids. Because the thing that made me the most angry about the whole situation, it was that we did have the Chinese population. We did not care until it got here. And then I started seeing Americans, French people, British people doing exactly what we did. And I'm like, we didn't do it and we were foolish, but you had them and us and you didn't do it. I mean, seriously? What's the problem?
It was not,
Why?
and I think that's, it's funny that you say you brought the privilege thing in, because I think I'm not necessarily as knowledgeable on Italian culture, but in America there's a sense of like the government doesn't control us, like we have freedom and it's all about us as citizens, how we're able to do things. And I keep hearing a lot of people say, well, I don't think they're allowed to do that. Like, I don't, and I'm just like, no, like, you don't get it. Like, when things like this happen, things like martial law, which is what you guys are experiencing, the military will come in, like, forces that you cannot control will come in.
Yeah, because we do live in a democracy as well. I mean, of course, in normal circumstances, the government is not going to control us. It never did, but they were forced to, because it's for our health, and not only our health but the world's health. So it's bigger than that. It's bigger than us. They don't even want to do this. Our economy is crashing. It's collapsing. It's like many people are losing their jobs, or they're trying to save them. I mean, they're trying to save them, because of course they're not losing them because they're not going to work because they don't want to, but because they can't. But here in Italy, we do have a lot of small businesses that are really challenged by this whole situation. It's really hard, and I know that nobody wants to hear this, but maybe people should be hearing this. That it's gonna get better. It hasn't, but it's gonna get better, but it's going to take a lot of effort, and we cannot think to be selfish.
I definitely want to end this video on a positive note, because I think it's
Of
always
course.
to kind of create a sense of hope. So I'm curious as to like how this experience has positively impacted you. Like, are there any things you've learned? Are there any things that you have improved on? What positive has this brought in your life that you think that once this is over, you as a human and you as a person feels like you've grown and you've gotten better?
Of course, I do think that this is a really nice chance to reinvent ourselves and to better the aspects that we ourselves don't really think that are good enough, but not because they're not good enough, but because we feel like we're incomplete. And also, I would say that you have plenty of time to stay with your family. I've never had problems with my family in my whole life, but we are getting closer because we are forced to live together. And also, I am taking a lot of time for myself, because I used to live a very eclectic life. I used to do everything, like the week before everything happened. I just started university, like my second semester of the university, and that was so tough. That first week alone, and I started crying like on that week, and I said, "Oh my God, I can't take it anymore. It has just started, and I'm already tired." And then like everything got shut down. I was kidding. Give me back.
Like, appreciate
Yeah.
like
I
the
mean, I was like,
issues of like
I'm sorry, I
regular life.
was dramatic. I didn't. I mean, yes, I am tired, but give it back to me.
You're like, I'll
But
take the exhaustion.
yeah, I'm not gonna cry. I mean, you guys, you stop maybe, but you really have the chance to better yourself, do things for yourself, do those famous things that you will never have time to get around to, and don't text exes.
For what? You can't see them anyways.
Yeah, yeah, because many people are, and I mean, why?
They
I
have
mean,
them
you
on
have
there.
to better yourself. You do not have to do the opposite. And yeah, relax, because we are never ever going to have, and I hope that we are never going to have this vacation this long.
Forbid.
So yeah, so enjoy
Mhm.
and be
Make the
respect. Yeah, be respectful, stay home, and do lots of things. You can do lots of things where you're inside, and mm, it gets better. It gets better. I know it, because I'm a really optimistic person, maybe too much. Everyone tells me I'm too optimistic, but you know,
But you're
I
also
I
realistic because you messaged me last week like, hey, like you
yeah,
might
I
have
mean,
up down.
yeah, I'm also a little bit realistic, because I really didn't want this to become what it has become. We do not want this to go on any further. That's for sure. That's for sure.
And I think on that note, like, I honestly appreciate you so much for even doing this. I think this is so important. And I think a benefit of this happening is we got to connect, and now
Yeah.
we'll stay in contact, and
Yeah.
I have a new friend in Italy. Maybe when this is all over, we can like meet somewhere, or you can come to LA or New York.
Yeah. No, I actually have parents in Brooklyn. Parents, relatives.
Well, then, I'm from Brooklyn, so it works out.
Yeah, I really appreciate also you doing this because you are giving this a platform just to, we are not going to school anybody, but we are really want to spread the right message. And it's not a bad one, just stay in time, stay safe. And that's about it.
Yeah, I agree. Well, thank you so much. And
Thank
please
you.
stay safe. It looks like you kind of have it down packed. You've been experiencing this for 2 weeks.
Yeah,
Stay in
me.
contact, and thank you. And
Thank
I'll
you.
message you after this. We'll talk after
Okay.
this.
Yeah.
And I thank you. Mwah. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Bye.
Bye. I love you. Bye. Oh, oh my God. I'm literally like, I have chills. Like, it's so crazy to like hear all of this. But one thing I will say that's so beautiful about just hearing her experience was the optimism. Because I think with 2 weeks of quarantine, you'd think you'd become a slight pessimist to a certain extent. But even with her attitude of it's gonna get better, like it'll be fine. Like I think that's so beautiful to see kind of like the human like spirit come out in a positive way out of something negative. I hope that you take something from this video. I don't even know what to say. This is so crazy. And I would urge you to take Francesca's advice. In Italy, they've experienced this for 2 weeks, even longer, to be honest. I think it's been longer at this point, and it's just like, we have kind of a template of how this happened. Like, I don't even care to tell you guys to subscribe and stuff. I just want you guys to like follow instructions and
just spread the right message.
Spread this message. If you want to do a video like this, please do it. Stay safe, wash your hands, stay indoors, work on something that you've never worked on, and stay positive. Keep spreading the message. We're gonna get through this.